guys, Barks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my first music video on the new version of my channel, which is all focused on music and mainly rap music. Today I'm going to react to one of my first ever recordings. I don't think it's the first recording, but this is back when I first started trying to make music of my own. These beats are all made by me, and I used a program back then called Reason. A lot of people in, I guess, the music industry would know what Reason is. It's by a company called Propeller Heads, I think it was, but that's what I used to use to make beats. And I started out in music just making beats using a really old program called, I think the first one was Impulse Tracker, and then there was EJ, which was really basic. And then got into some other things before moving over to Reason, which was then enabling me to be able to create my own beats the way I wanted them to sound without actually using pre-recorded sort of beat loops and samples. I could actually physically put the drum kicks and all that sort of stuff where I wanted it to, you know, use synthesizers and different instruments within the program. And at first I used to use just a mouse, and I'd just click and drag and put dots and stuff where I wanted the beat to make that sound. And then eventually I upgraded to like a quarter keyboard, one of those quarter length keyboards, to start actually being able to play a little bit and make it easier for me to start plugging in the sounds. And then as things progressed, I wanted to start making songs out of them and writing my own lyrics over these songs. And this is kind of in the genesis of that. Around that time, all these songs started to come out, and that's when I also started to transition from making just beats and writing songs to doing that for a while, and then transitioning out of making beats and just writing songs and using other people's beats to put my music over, which is what I do today. So this is the kind of the beginning. This is from about 2008, I think. This is where it kind of all started, with me recording my own lyrics. I didn't do it from the beginning. I've been making beats since I was 16. So when I first had my first sort of computer in my room, and I got, you know, things like EJ and all that, I was making beats when I was in high school. And yeah, so it's been, you know, it took me a while before, so that's probably like another 6 or 7 years after I left school, or 2008. That's 6 years after I left high school, where I started actually trying to make songs of my own. And this is one of the first ones, so we're just gonna have a listen to it. I've had a brief listen to these the other night when I found them all again, and now I'm just gonna go through and actually trying to decipher some of the things that I was saying in these songs, because all these songs were prior to me undertaking a kind of mindset change in my life. I was a very depressed person during this period of my life. I had a lot of anger towards what my life had become and the things and how my life had turned out. And, you know, my whole dream was like, I just want to do this for my career. And so I had a lot of people around me that, you know, whether it be like, you know, people that I knew or work colleagues or whatever, that, you know, I felt were my haters. And so there's a lot of talk about stuff like that in my songs back then, and I still talk about that kind of stuff now even, but that's stuff that's never going to go away. I think that whenever you're trying to strive to do something and there are other people who aren't striving, they're going to feel threatened, I think, and that's when they try and pull you down. So a lot of that stuff is what I talk about. I had a brief listen, like I said, to these the other night, and yeah, it's quite interesting to hear. Their songs are a lot better than what I thought they were, but there's still a lot of things that obviously I had to improve on over the years, and I have improved on, just in regards to some things like the way I articulated things and the way I said my words, because I grew up with a lot of heavily American influenced music. So there's a kind of a twang on some of my words back then where I was using that real thug West Coast, you know, gangster rap, pronouncing words not the way I would normally pronounce them. and that comes out in these songs. So it was all a learning process, and yeah, there's just things where I was experimenting. I was talking about things that I wasn't living because I was heavily influenced by the thoughts of, like, I remember watching a Tupac documentary, and Shock G was talking about how Tupac would write songs that he wanted to be released later when that thing that he was talking about was a reality. So, you know, if this happens, release this song. If that happens, then release that song. And it might not be for years from now. So there's things throughout these songs where I was heavily influenced by those sorts of mindsets and those ways of thinking, that I was almost putting things out into the universe to be created through the songs that I was writing. But at that time, I didn't realize that there was a lot of work to be done still, and that I needed to refine my craft over the years. And yeah, I mean, that's what it is, and this is where we are now, and this is 2008, so we're 13 years on from when these songs were made, and that's a big jump, and that's a long time for me to develop as a person and as a rapper. So let's get into it. This one is called Intro, because I wanted this one to be the intro to whatever album of music I was going to create. And yeah, this beat's made by me. So let's get into Intro by me, Barks.
Welcome to the new game. J Barks. It's been 24 years in the making. Now I'm finally here to give you the fresh, the new, innovation. Louder, J Barks. New game. Welcome to the game, the new game. J Barks takes center stage. Never contemplate bringing out the thug hits. Some of you roll too when you dip in solo or crew watch for police. Always trying to hit me up for cheese. Got nothing on me, I keep it legit. Hold my dick, smile and spit and roll off. Bossing my game, J Barks Enterprise main. Louder crew, you know we do. TRU, CeeLo True. Mighty one of me, we mobbing on beats. Wayne the elite, new kid on the street. Bout to set it off. We got hits, baby, and we bout to share them with y'all. J Barks, real dog in the flesh, and we do it the best for real. You know the deal, we bout to make this real, cause we got shit that kills. $1 million beats, we don't stay discreet, we blow up. What the fuck, J Barks done shown up, that's what's up.
Yeah, not bad. In my opinion, that's actually not that bad. There's obviously some things in there where I'm like, 24 years in the making and shit, like, it's not how it's 24, right? But that's, where you listen to a certain type of music for since you were 6 years old or 8 years old. When I was 8 years old, 8 years old, when I first started listening to like the Dog Pound and all that sort of stuff. And you listen to all those years, and then you go all these years later to start making songs. It's naturally gonna, the first songs you make, I think you're just gonna try and emulate what you've been hearing. So yeah, I mean that's a raw cut of a dude who's never tried to do rap music before. I think that's pretty good. For one of the first things, I think it's not too far off of the cadence that I kind of use now, but that's the first one, Intro Barks. I'm going to I'm going to do a whole bunch more of these, and there's more songs to come. So that was the first one. Let me know in the comments if you like this one, like the video, subscribe, you know, hit the notifications, all that stuff. Follow all my socials, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, like I mentioned in the last video. All that stuff should be, if I'm on top of it, all that stuff should be here already available for you to see. So hit me up on those and let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.